Good morning, dear viewers. Welcome to the Next Nigerian President Newspaper Review for the 14th of September 2022. I am Ann Chibufwe. Today we will be reviewing topics and issues that made headlines on national dailies. And with us here, we have a communication strategist and a public affairs analyst, Stanley Ebose. Stanley, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So on our table today, we have the Daily Sun and the top story: DSS links Mahmoud to local global terrorist groups. And the writer goes, gets court's nod to detain him for 60 more days. This story can be found on the 4th page of Daily Sun. So what's your take on this issue of the Department of State Service coming out to link Mahmoud to the local and global terrorist groups?
It's quite unfortunate. It's a mess that the government has created themselves. You know, an industry has been built around the insecurity of Nigeria, the insecurity issues we have in Nigeria. We've got people coming out to negotiate for terrorists or serve as middlemen between these conversations between the state and these hostile groups. On my part, I don't know, we don't know enough about this to either indict Mahmoud or say we really don't know. But on my part, I think it seemed to be a step in the right direction, in the sense that this offers an indication that the government seems to be doing something, that there is some investigation going on. So I think we can take this as a plus. But let's just see how investigations go and let's see what it turns out.
So which of the leading candidates do you think would be able to solve the issue of terrorism in the country?
In all fairness, I believe, again, when we look at the Mahmoud's dimension and we look at this use of individuals or people who supposedly have access, you know, we've been using, dialogue is a key tool to use when you're fighting, when you're trying to contend with insecurity as we have now. But there is also the problem of using people who seem very familiar with the issues. Mahmoud in this case is a character that seems very familiar with the issues in the sense that he has access to these terror groups. You know, so when and we're now learning that okay, Mahmoud is far more connected to this group than we could imagine. So what I'm just saying with that is APC have used this man no man, forgive my the way I've put it, but they've used this man no man strategy to deal with this issue, dealing with people who are basically businessmen, middlemen. You know, that hasn't worked. What we need now is we need someone new to come in and deal with this issue. We need someone new. Perhaps Atiku Abubakar and the PDP. But then the problem with Atiku Abubakar and the PDP is that the PDP is in government in many states. You know, there's about 14 states that have that is being governed by the party, by representatives of the party. But then we have a Peter Obi who seems to be the new kid on the block. And he has like the backing of the people, he has the backing of the youth. So in a sense, for me, I would just say no. I think APC has been in the mess of this enough. We can deal with this without the APC. We need a reorientation as far as dealing with these issues are concerned. But then maybe Labour Party, if they can put themselves together well enough, and then the PDP and Atiku Abubakar. Yes.
Okay. Moving on to economy. Nigeria worse off today than 2015, Atiku. So what is your opinion on this statement made by Atiku?
Of course, Nigeria is worse off today. But then it just doesn't end there. Why is Atiku telling us now that Nigeria is worse off today? He was a member of the APC. They brought this government into power. They wheeled out the campaign themes and talking points of this government in 2015. So is he telling us now, so you sold us a bad product, and you're coming to tell us, oh, that product is bad? No. Of course, Nigeria is worse off today. But why is Atiku telling us Nigeria is worse off today? He sold us this product.
So among the leading candidates, the three leading candidates of the APC, PDP, and Labour Party, which of the leading candidates do you feel would be able to improve the economy of Nigeria?
Okay, 2023 election will be a referendum on President Muhammadu Buhari. The APC have come out. The APC doesn't quite. They are not coming out to tell us that Nigeria is worse off today than it was in 2015. You know, they've not come out to explicitly say so, or they've not come out to take responsibility for the mess that we find ourselves. So obviously not the APC, because they don't know and they don't think that something wrong has happened. So that's one, not the APC. APC can make that happen. The PDP, PDP is so that as a party and as a culture and as a group of people, they are far too similar to the APC. I don't see what they will do differently as a political party, and everything they're talking about. No, what we need in 2023 is a total reorientation. We need the people on board, the electorate on board. And to get the electorate on board, we need people that can come out and trust that a new system has come on board. So again, Peter Obi and the Labour Party have a huge hill to climb, but they seem to be that group, they seem to be the party, that campaign seems to be the campaign that will stir up hope, that will really bring, as far as galvanizing people into working. You know, that campaign seems like the campaign that would do it. So yes, I would say the Labour Party.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the next, we have Vanguard. And the top story, no going back on opposition to same-faith tickets, Forum of Northern Christians. This story can be found on page 5 of the Vanguard. So the Northern Forum of Christians have come out to reiterate that there's no going back to the opposition of the same-faith tickets. So what do you have to say about this?
Well, they are at liberty to do that. If the Forum of Northern Christians, that's a group of Christians, that's just these groups that represent the interest of the Christians and the North. They are at liberty to say that, because really a same-faith ticket by the leading political party in Nigeria, it's a hard pill to swallow. There's an ideological dimension. From an ideological dimension, it is definitely a hard pill to swallow. From the part, if it's the Muslim ticket, so two Muslims coming together, the leading party of the country, and is saying the president is of the Islamic faith, the deputy is also of the Islamic faith. It doesn't really speak well of the faith, and it's a faith I have a lot of respect for and reverence for. It doesn't really speak well for the faith, especially because this is the leading party. And it's also important when we say there's an ideological and a political dimension to it. From the political dimension, you are the leading party. You have the resources. You are the party that is supposed to be uniting and bringing people together. If you are the leading party, you've been there for 8 years. Why are you doing this? You know, so it doesn't speak well. It's like, oh, we don't. I mean, it really says it's insensitive. The decision to have the same faith ticket, it's insensitive because you are the leading party. And then so the Forum of Northern Christians coming out to say, oh, I'm not going back, having their opposition to that. It's fine, they're at liberty to do that. But again, these conversations, they are only they are ideological on a political basis. Not so much on a faith basis, on a spiritual basis. Also, I mean, but yeah, they're at liberty to say that, and yes, they're fine. It's fine. Whatever they decide to do. But then we'll see how that happens. What happens at the poll? Will this affect will this affect turnout? Will this affect how much people would vote for the leading party at the poll? We'll wait to see.
So personally, they feel it's not a fair representation for every faith in the country.
Absolutely.
I guess that's their own take.
Absolutely.
So moving on to the next, we have The Punch. And the top story, Atiku Okowa rubbish APC over Muslim ticket economy. That can be found on page 2 of The Punch. Say unemployment rose by 54% to 68 million. Nigerians poorer under Buhari. And the rider goes, Muslim tickets, dangerous for troubled nation like Nigeria, Okowa tells APC. Northern Khan restates opposition to same-faith tickets. I have done well, Buhari. So, on this particular issue, the People's Democratic Party presidential candidates and his running mates, Atiku and Okowa, have come out to rubbish the Muslim tickets. What do you have to say about this?
We know, like I said before, the Muslim ticket doesn't, it's a hard pill to swallow. It doesn't really speak well of the political party. However, when politicians now use that as a talking point, I get very concerned. You know, let me, if we were to consider this, Atiku, has Atiku done anything that will suggest to the average Nigerian that he will not, if in this situation, won't do the same thing in terms of picking Muslim tickets? I don't think it will. I mean, I don't know, I don't understand why Atiku is saying Muslim doesn't speak. I mean, there's nothing. Let's say this. At least the APC, knowing that they've been in power for 8 years, moved the ticket to the north, to the south. At least they did that. So they were like, oh, we've had 8 years of northern, of the president coming from the north. Let's move this ticket. At least they did that. What is Atiku doing? How is what Atiku doing different from what the APC as a political party is doing? After 8 years, Atiku has come in to say, yes, we know that. And I will say it's not so much about where the person is from. You know, it's not so much about where the person is from, but considering the sort of the Nigeria's landscape and our political development, if a Northerner comes out and says, oh, I am the Northerner and I'm representing the North, we have more Northern voters in the country. There are more voters registered in the North. I mean, when you go to, we have more voters in the North. So, and the North say, oh, we're going to vote this man because he is from the North. That candidate gets the upper hand. You know, so yes, it is true. The Muslim ticket doesn't speak well. But no, it's not for Atiku to come and tell us. Perhaps Okowa, yes. And then in terms of the economy, again, they sold us, Atiku sold us this administration. He sold us the ticket of President Muhammadu Buhari. He was a key part of the people who mobilized this government into power some 7 years ago. So yes, we all know the economy is bad. So he's telling us something we already know. In terms of, I smiled when I said that I have done well. When Buhari said I have done well. Well, I don't know. I don't know what country he's looking at, but if he says he has done well, let him say so. We will know. And we will tell him that no, he has not done well. Does he have to agree with us? Never mind. Don't know.
Okay, so standing based on the current economic situation in the country, you feel Buhari cannot really come out to say he has done well, or you just feel he has the choice to say whatever he wants to say?
These are the... Okay, so as at today, to buy dollars from the black market, to access FX, to access dollars from the black market, you have to pay 706 naira for $1. 706, 707 naira per dollar today. Right? When he came into government, it was somewhere around 160 something naira. Has he done well? And understand that we are an import-dependent economy. And by being import dependent, of course we are import dependent, and by being import dependent, we need to source. A lot of our traders, a lot of traders have to source FX, have to source dollar from the black market. So this place I mentioned, this 407 naira, is real for a lot of people. That's the number. That's what they are buying dollars for. Compared to 160 something, 170 something. When he came into government, PMS was selling for 98 naira, albeit being subsidized. When he came in, he first made it 140 something naira. But then now, I mean, the pump rate of PMS is somewhere around 890 something, 880 something, you know. But that's not even the story. Then the story now is we pay 18 billion naira every day for subsidy. So has he really done well? Those are the numbers. Those are the fundamentals. Inflation, CPI is up over, almost 20%. You know, has he done well? No, he hasn't done well. But how will he know? He doesn't go to the market. He doesn't fuel his own car. How will he know? He won't know. It is we that know. And we know that he hasn't done well.
So you're saying the masses have a better stand to be able to rate his government to say if he has done well or if he hasn't done well.
Absolutely, and then the masses have to make that decision at the polling units.
Right. Thank you once again. Thank you, Stanley, for joining us for this newspaper review. It was indeed a soul time having you over. So dear viewers, we have come to the end of our newspaper review for today. You can go out there, get a copy of the newspaper and read for yourself. You can also follow us on our social media handles, on NGNext President for our Twitter handle, at the Next Nigerian President for our Instagram handle, the Next Nigerian President for our YouTube, Next Nigerian President for Facebook. Do have a lovely day. Thank you.
Thank you.